Aloha, Mike. Hey, thanks for the session outside today. That was very, I needed that. I needed to get out of the little closet, as you said. Anywho, here's our notes. So, you're absolutely correct. If we put our finger going up like this, we get a little less action, but you're going to be able to play any way you like. It's a great way to keep trying to play those minor chords, like the B minor 7, C sharp minor 7, C minor 7. I think what you're getting at is underneath the 5th fret, you play with your first finger, and then above the 5th fret, maybe you play with your middle finger all the way up, and that'll help too with getting these different chords. Anywho, here's just a quick video doing all the majors to all the minors, and then I'll go into a little explanation about playing the sus2s or the sus4s, just as a basis for more chords for you. All right, so how about let's start at a C and then go in order. So C major, or I could take the E from here and put it here. I could take the high G from there and put it here and make a bar chord C major, which looks a lot like my A, B flat, B, C, C, C. So here's my C and here's my C minor. I could also add that note, C minor. So C to D, here's a D minor. I'm gonna have my first finger on the F, I'm gonna have my second finger on the A, and my third finger on the D. Or I could play it like this. Here's my major. I'm playing it barred across and keeping the A note floating above by having my whole hand kind of do that number. D major, D minor, D major, D minor, different fingerings. Here's my E minor. Kind of looks like I have a B here, I've got a G here, and I've got an E here to make my triad. I could also play that with my secondary set of fingerings, like that. And I could also play like this, where I bar the whole thing and play that. My F major looks like this, with my finger on the F, open C, and then an A. Also open A up here. I could also play that in my secondary fingering position. My F major, I could also play up here as well, by making the D shape and then putting my high F up here. So either way you want to do it. That last one was a little funky. F major down here, I can turn that F major into an F minor by moving my A down to an A flat to get this, and then I add my C. If I play that same chord like this, there it is. I can move that up a half step and lay down my first finger on that C sharp to get an F sharp minor, G minor, and that G minor, if you look at that shape right there, that's exactly like this. That we did from a G major to a G minor, and then we moved our pinky to there and put that down. It makes the same thing. G minor, G sharp minor, A flat minor, A minor. All right, so since we're on F, we're gonna go to G here. G major, G minor. I'm keeping this anchored down. G major, G minor, just moving that. I can also take this pinky there and then put that all the way down to give me my octave B flat. Or not octave, unison B flat. It would look like this. Backwards triangle, and then my finger up top here. Cool, G goes to A major, has my C sharp, and my A also has an E being played out, and then another A. When I play the minor, I get rid of the C sharp for an A minor. I can also take that, as you pointed out, this is the A major here. Well, if I had an A minor, I would just be removing the third, right? So here in this A major, I've got this here, and then the A minor is moving this down to here. And that feels a little cramped, but if I play something like that, looks like this forwards, looks like this with the inversion, and then the same thing like the F, if I move that up here to the 12th fret, that's the A minor, all right? So that's the A minor, and then lastly is the B. So this is where the exercise actually takes form that we left off on. If I use my first finger on the 2nd fret for the B and the F sharp, I have one nodal structure, one node on my finger, playing those. If I put down my my second finger on the C string on the 3rd fret, it makes a E flat note. If I put my 3rd finger down on the high G, it makes a B, which is in unison with that. Meaning, when I play this, just like a C in this, I could go from a B major, not moving these two just to make the pattern, to a whole bar chord, which is also a B major. Then I could remove the third to make a B minor. I could also move this bar chord down to not get a half bar, but a partial bar where it gets 3 strings and keeps that note going. And then I could lay down my major over the top of that. What this does is it forces your hand to do 3 separate different movements, and it forces you to get stronger at using your bar chords in different shapes. Okie doke. I hope that really helps out. Other than that, those are your majors. Your susses are by being able to take your 2 and your 4 in any chord. So in the key of, let's say, C major, a C major sus 2 would incorporate the D note or the D tone, which is the second note in a C major scale, C, D. So what I do is I play a C major, and then I replace that high C with a D. And if you play the E, the C, and the G with that high D, it makes the tone of C sus 2. You could also add that D down below with the C to give a lower resolve. And what that does is you're changing your interval space to which the ear wants to hear the resolution. Meaning, in layman's terms, it sounds prettier with the lower note, okay? A little more full, doesn't it? But knowing that, you could use both. Hear that? So a G major sus 4 would include G, A, B, C. C is the 4th note, so I've got my triad, G, B, D. Here's my B, here's my G, and here's my D. And if I wanted to get my 4th, I would add my C. G, A, B, C. So I've got the D major shape, and I add my pinky for the G major sus 4. Ta-da! If I wanted a sus 2, I would have a G major with an A in it. I have an option of either taking this G and putting it up at the 5th fret and playing the G the same way, which I really like, but it's an awkward gap between the B, the D, and the A. Or you could just play the G, the D, and leave this top string open for your A. Either way, every single chord has a way to get the sus 2 and the sus 4. The reason for a sustenance note, or a sustained note rather, it hangs over the top of a note and wants to resolve to that note. Listen to this. So this is a C major to a D minor to a G major sus 4 to a G, G sus 4 over the top, sound suspended, high. Hear how that movement resolves down to the G and it feels good for it to resolve? You could do that with anything. In the C major, you'll definitely notice it with like something like your C major, working is from a C major to a C major 7, to a C dominant 7, to a C6, or an A minor 7, relative chords. And what you could do is you could add your C sus 2 over the top of, and it adds another element and another level of intensity to that tune. So I hope all of that helped. I know this was a little longer video. Where we're leaving it is you have one more lesson left. Why don't you get at me in the next couple months after you're done with your curriculum that you've devised? And feel free to get at me and ask any questions during that time. It's good seeing you today, and I'll see you soon. Aloha.